Hey YouTubers and train lovers, I was asked by one of my subscribers, what is the difference between the Lionel Generals and the Marx Wm Crooks Generals? And first of all, there's a lot of difference between many of the Lionel Generals where there's very little difference with the Crooks. So let's start out with something that was made in the same time frame. The Crooks was made 1959, 1960. You're looking at a Lionel 1882, which was made in 1960, and this was affectionately nicknamed the Halloween set by Lionel collectors because of the pumpkin orange color. And you'll see we've got a headlight that works. We've got a big stack with no smoke unit. We have a 2-position E unit with a lockout. I hope you can see this switch up here. The Lionel is somewhat heavier. It's almost 2 pounds. 1.10.5 ounces. I put it on my postage scale, but I knew it was heavier, and when you've got a heavier train, you're going to have more traction. And it also uses something similar to the motors and the Lionel Alcos. I'm just going to show you the instruction sheet, which shows you how to oil it. I've never taken it apart. I really don't care to. It's very fragile plastic. All these Generals are fragile plastic, so I don't want to risk breaking it. Lots of fragile parts on top, just like the Marx. But here is my only other General, which is a Lionel 8702 Virginia and Truckee Railroad, and very little difference between the two on the outside. I should have mentioned this was made in 1988, and it's an MPC. It has circuit boards inside, and it is a smoker, and none of these have whistles. Not a very good puller compared to my 1882, which is a superb puller because of the larger motor. This simply, they put a can motor up in the cab sideways, and I've never taken it apart to see what the drivetrain is, but not impressed with the power of this locomotive. It doesn't have a great deal of pulling power. It does pull its original 3 cars. It came with a set. It was called the Dry Gulch set, and it was a service station set. So I assumed it was uncatalogued. Also, this 1882, I believe, was uncatalogued. If I'm incorrect, please correct me. And once again, you're going to see lots of plastic parts that break easy, and see lots of people on eBay selling plastic parts. So let's move this 8701 back, and we're going to see the Marx Wm Crooks. One thing I should have mentioned while they were side by side is the stack is about 1/16 of an inch taller. They look a lot smaller than the Lionels. They really aren't. And these weigh 1.32 pounds. And they're not known to be good pullers. What Marx did is they took the double reduction motor that they had in their 666 in their 1666, and they installed them backwards, so your E unit is actually in the cab. You'll see all this stuff in the cab and go, what the heck is that? Well, that's your E unit. And once again, extremely fragile. No lockout for the E unit. You've got to cycle it. Working headlight. However, one heck of a smoker. Really, really superb smoker. Right up there with the Lionels, if not better. What I have noticed when I put them together is a Lionel, they have little rivets along the side and the body, and Marx didn't bother to do that. However, Marx was copying a actual train called the Wm Crooks, and it was 1st Division of the St. Paul and Pacific Railroad, as you'll see from the tender. And they were very careful to copy it as it was originally made. This was the wood burning version, and it's got the taller stack. And if you actually look at photographs of the old Wm Crooks, you'll notice that everything resembles this model. And they were all number 1. You'll see this on the sand dome. And that's what the original Wm Crooks was. And I'm going to show you a slight variation. Move the camera. Move this back, and I notice I've got one wheel off here, off my Crooks. So let's just move the Lionel back. And in 1973, Marx made a short stack version. And sadly, it's non-smoking, no headlight in front. They didn't even bother to put, you see, a faux whistle up here. They didn't put a whistle up there. They didn't put a steam release up there, but I suppose less plastic to break. And it's a really good engine. It's a very good puller. But what Marx should have done, since they were using the same motor that was in their 1666, and they used a traction tire, a factory installed traction tire in their 1666, that's what they should have done with these Crooks. I have added a traction tire to this unit, and now it pulls as well as my Lionel 1882 that has no traction tire, doesn't need one because of its weight and its big Alco motor. I should also say that these were not magnet traction. So basically you've got steel on steel. But I love them all. I really do. The only thing is, when you're handling them, you need to be extra careful. I use 2 hands. One hand up here on the cow catcher and one hand around the cab. This little piece right here of plastic, which is supposed to be the actuator for the whistle, is extremely fragile. And once again, you'll find a lot of those for sale on eBay and aftermarket parts places. So that's all I know. And so here's the quick version of the comparison of the Marx General and the Lionel General. Of all of them, I prefer the Lionel and the Wm Crooks. I should say the Lionel 1882 and the Wm Crooks over this later MPC version, which I should have also mentioned has a traction tire, a factory installed traction tire, or I'm sure it never would have been able to pull its own cars that came in the set. It had 3 cars. It's just really weak motor, and I do not know what motors they're putting in them, and the new ones that are coming over from China, because I don't buy that crap. Pardon my French, but I like to see these lined up here. They look pretty cool with a Crooks and the cowcatcher behind there. And if you notice, Tony the Ponies looks like he's racing. So, at any rate, before I babble too much and bore you, that's it. And thanks for watching. And once again, this has been a Big Lizard production. Bye-bye.